Hello, nice seeing you again. In this lesson, we're going to talk about control. Remember last time we talked about simple commands? Today, we'll focus on controls. Control structures are also commands. They enable a program to make decisions by following one way or another. Here you can see several different sequences. In this case, you do a selection. If it's true, go down this path. If it's false, go down this path. Here, you go through iterations. It's like a loop. Depending on the different control structures, we may specify the number of times you repeat, or we may specify a condition where you repeat. And here is a simple sequence. What we covered last week were all sequences. Here are some of the control structures for the Lego Mindstorm robot. It has a wait, loop, if then, or if then else, do this and this, meaning you can do two things simultaneously, or stop. In a moment, you're going to see exactly this screen. Why is control useful? Well, let's go to the app first, and we'll write a few lines so you get a feel for why we need controls. Now I'm going to move my screen share to the structure, to the app. So I am going to go to the home page. This is where you should have started with your app. And now remember, we still click on projects, click on plus, we'll do a new program. This one, let's just call it control. Don't change the word block, click on create. So here we'll have, remember this block, this is the event block when program starts. And last week we did set movement motors. I don't know if you remember, for this particular robot called Blast, we use motor C and A to control its movement. Then, if you recall, we did move forward, and then we added moving backward. Now, here you go, we have a simple program. Once again, before running it, check if you're connected to the robot. If you're not, click on it. You will be prompted to connect, but don't try to reset the motor, just say it's already been updated. Now we're ready to go. Let's see what it does. Okay, move forward, backward, right? This is very easy. What if we wanted to move forward and backward 3 times? Okay, so this is what we can do. I press on this block, I say duplicate. It duplicated all the blocks following that. I click on it again and say duplicate. So now we have 3 sets of backwards and forwards. Now I'll stop the previous program and play the new one. Okay, it keeps moving. However, what if I say 20 times? We have to keep copying, pasting, and count. I think by 20 times, I may not want to do this over and over. So what we can do is using a control structure to simplify this task. I'll delete these other blocks. By the way, you can also drag it over and it would also delete. Or you right click, you press on it, right click, you can delete too. So on this side, you should be able to see control. This darker yellow, you see different types of control, right? So I'm going to drag over this one, and I'm going to place it here. And so we still set the motor. This says 10. If we want it to be 20 times, I change this number 20 times. Now stop. Now let's run the program. Back, forward. Okay, you see that it went backward, forward. You may notice it's turned slightly. This is because the floor is not completely flat. Now, we can also let this go forever. Let's try a different one. So we'll move this outside, press this, drag it over, disappeared, right? So now I will move the blocks back in the forever loop. Stop. Now restart. Okay, we were not really going to wait forever. We're just making the point it can keep going on and on and on and on. So assuming we've had enough of this, we can try a different command. So you see here, we have do this and this. It means we can do two things simultaneously. So now what I would do is to stop the program, and I'm going to move this to do this part. I'm going to remove the forever loop. And what else can I do? Well, remember from last time, it can have different lights. Let's try something different. Turn on the smiley face. And let's also play a sound. Let's do, well, we can keep the cat meow right now. And let's also still write the name on its face. So instead of hello, we'll say blast. And you can give it a different name. Now let's see what happens. Mine made a really loud meowing. Of course, we can also, if we think once we don't see it very well, let's go back to the control. You can nest these controls together. Let's move this repeat here. We can make it a repeat and do this. I don't need it to run so many times. Let's make it 5. So it can move backward and forward 5 times, and it will do these tasks together. Well, the writing, the smiley face, and the meowing will still be sequential, but these actions will be simultaneously with the movement. If you recall from the last lesson, we also did movement. We also did the lights and the sound, but they were done sequentially, not simultaneously. And that is the difference. Okay. Now, let's try something even more different. You see here, we have if something, then else something. So let me drag this structure over. So let me move this aside and connect this if then else here. So we can make it if true, run back and forth 5 times. And if else, we can do this action. So we won't do it simultaneously, we won't do it sequentially, we'll do one or another. So what do we choose as the condition? Well, to pick conditions, we are going to pick a random number. So here you see with the green, pick random number 1 to 10. And let's make a condition. Let's say if we pick this random number between 1 to 10, if this number, let's put it here, and let's put this here. If this number is below 5, we shouldn't be below 100 because 100% of the time, if when we pick a random number between 1 and 10, it will be below 100. Then we'll always be moving and never go with the light and sound. So remove that, stop the old program and run the new one. Okay, it moved because the number, it must be because the number it picked is below 5. Now, if we experiment with it again, let's see what happens. Still moving. So now we have to try a couple more times to see. Otherwise, you may think it always pick below 5. Now this time it picked the light and sound. So one more time, let's see what it does. Okay. Movement again. So if you have learned the statistics, how random numbers are picked, you'll realize we have roughly half and half of the chance to pick the movement versus light. But if that is when you test it enough times, when you only test it a few times, it wouldn't be perfectly evenly split. And also this is smaller than, not smaller equal than. So if it's smaller equal than 5, we should have 50-50 if we try it enough times. Finally, we can use the stop and wait. So we can wait for 1 second, and we can say stop all at the end. So this will make us wait a little bit. Maybe I'll make it a little longer so you can see the waiting. Now let me run this. So we're waiting for 5 seconds before the random number is picked. This time it picked light and sound. If you have time, I would suggest you play with some of this. For example, if you change this to 3, and if you change this to 20, you can watch what happens. Again, you remember you could change the direction, you could change it back, you could, if you have enough space, you can change this 10 centimeter to 20. You could also change the light and sound patterns. just for the fun of it. Also, you can get yourself familiarized with this. Also, you could add a loop, a control here. So for example, you can do the smiley face and meowing together after the blast. Okay, still waiting 5 seconds. Now it's picking the sight and sound. If you watch carefully, you should see the smiley face and the meowing came together. That is all for today. We'll see you next lesson.